in. All right, let's try this again. Well, we did not get any notifications this time, so we must be right.
Yeah, so it must be
Anyway,
working.
there must have been an issue with Facebook or something. It was giving us errors as far as going live, but here we are. 2 minutes of football live from Coliseum. Stream ended or delete onto. Anyway, whatever. We'll just keep going. I can share it later. Anyway, so we are live here at Coliseum for 2 minutes of football. I'm Chris Smith, Lee Mason. I want to thank our sponsors, Chris Pryor of Service Realty, 864-380-0525, and Plumbing and Pink, Rusty and Lynn Greer, 864-735-7014. We are live on Facebook, hopefully, LinkedIn, Twitter, and starting next week, we will be live on YouTube. And I'm working on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so got some things in the works. Also met with another bar today who may be interested in picking up the show, so that should be interesting. We'll see if that works out.
So we might have a new studio.
We might have a new studio. Yes. Anyway, so we're going to start off talking about the college football top 25 scores. Obviously, talking about South Carolina. Some good upsets this week, and then we'll go into the new rankings that came out as of yesterday, and then we'll talk some NFL scores and tonight's Broncos Chargers game.
Yep.
I had to think about who was playing for a second. I got 8 million things going on my mind. So let's see. 5, 6. Week 7 was last week for college football. Obviously, number 1 ranked Georgia just demolished Vanderbilt 55-0. Clemson. I don't know if I call it a squeaker.
No, they had a decent sized lead, and then they gave up some points late, which made it look close. But
correct. So Clemson won 30.
It wasn't really in doubt. Let's just say.
No, it was not. 34-28. Number 5, Michigan just absolutely stomped all over number 10, Penn State. 41-17. The upsets of the week. Number 6, Tennessee. We're actually watching the game together.
Yep.
Alabama, as a good team always does, comes back. It looked like it was going to be a blowout at one point.
But I think we knew better.
Oh, we knew.
We knew better.
Between Coach Saban and Alabama's the great players that they have on that team, they weren't going to let that game get away too much. And it came down to basically the last seconds of the game when Alabama got toasted by that pass interference call. And so that kind of set Tennessee up.
But they did, but when they had the ball before, they didn't execute to the level that they needed to dwindle down the clock enough and then make that field goal a little closer. Because they had the game.
They did. I agree.
But
they had the game, and they let it just slip out of their hands. And kudos to Tennessee.
Yep.
I've been saying for weeks now. I even told Sturge. I told Sturge a couple of weeks ago. I said, man, Tennessee's for real. Don't sleep on Tennessee. They're going to give your Alabama team a hell of a game, and that's exactly what they did. It was a hell of a game, and now Tennessee has to pay $100,000 fine to the SEC.
Right.
And they're also
trying to get people to buy goalposts.
They're crowdfunding because the goalposts
are in a river.
Are in the Tennessee River after the fans stormed the field and walked them out of the stadium down the highway.
Oh yeah,
which was quite hysterical, and then threw them into the river. I don't know. If I was a fan, I think I'd want them at my house, at least a piece of it. Right?
I don't know if it would come apart. Like,
I know. I've never been close
unless you
enough
have like
to
a hacksaw where everybody can cut it into pieces. But I think if it was at your house, like the Dr. Pepper commercial, where it's in the front
that's
yard,
what I was thinking of.
like I think you'd probably get in trouble. Like
Well,
they'd be
it in the backyard.
yeah, okay, yeah.
I'd put it in the backyard. I'd have some.
This guy mysteriously has goalposts in his backyard. But no, it is pretty funny.
Yes,
So.
And the funny part is the AD at Tennessee is taking it all in stride. He's just making jokes about it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what's $100,000 to them and a couple goalposts? So I think it's more of the university president and the board of trustees giving them hell about this lack of security, and that's what the SEC fined them for. Is the storming of the field, and you've got to have better security. But what do you expect when you got 102,000 people, and
it's been 25 years? It's
right. And you beat arguably one of the top tier teams in the country, and so.
Well, I mean, when it comes to overall rings, they have more than anybody else. So
right.
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, that's the standard. The one thing I kind of felt like, though, was as good as they are, and yeah, they're good enough to beat anybody on any given day, but that felt like they're natty. Like, I don't see them being able to do that 4 more times. Like, I don't see them beating Georgia if they happen to play them in the SEC championship game. I don't see them doing that against an Ohio State or a Clemson or a Georgia or whoever in the playoff, and then again, and like.
No, I hear what you're saying.
That's kind of the thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. So. Well, it'll be interesting to get if they make it to the championship. Because they're going to play.
Yeah,
most likely. That Georgia defense is kind of ridiculous. So I'll have to upload this to Facebook. It's not going. Okay. But anyway, sorry about that. If you got comments or questions or anything, if you're on, I can see things on Twitter and LinkedIn. I can't see things on Facebook right now. I'll be happy to get back with you once we upload things. Anyway, let's continue. Another upset was number 20 Utah beat number 7 USC by 1, squeaking it out, 43-42.
Well, the concerns with USC were always defense, not offense.
Right.
And it caught up with them. I thought they had a chance to run the table. Clearly, losing by 1 point isn't really anything to be embarrassed about, especially considering Utah's a good team. Mm-hmm. But I thought USC would have figured out a way to win that game and didn't get it done.
Yeah, they did not get it done. Let's see. What do we got here? We've got another upset. So it kind of was an upset week for a lot of teams. TCU takes out number 8, Oklahoma State.
I didn't really consider that to be that much. I mean, ranking-wise, yes, but it didn't surprise me. TCU being at home and winning that game, it wasn't a shot.
Right. Yeah. I would think TCU has been the better team. They've been on a roll, and Oklahoma State is. I mean, it did go to 2 OT.
Yeah.
And so.
And it seems like they're one of those teams that's always in the top 15 or so, and they just can't quite get over that hump. Yeah. I would agree. Then you got number 9, Ole Miss, another team I'd watch out for. Ole Miss is for real. Offensively, absolutely. Yeah, yes. They are for real. Yes. They take out Auburn 48-34. Then I'm sure this is your favorite upset of the week, considering who it was against. Number 18, Syracuse
takes out number 15 NC State.
But
NC State's starting quarterback done for the year.
And he was done before that game.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, as soon as I heard that, it was like Syracuse is going to win this game. So
Syracuse and Clemson are about to be on a crash course.
Tell you what, Syracuse, their defense is really, really good. I'm not super familiar with their offense and how well they throw the ball. Clemson is the most vulnerable, as usual, at safety in the secondary. Their front four is awesome, totally legit, and they can get the pass rush. So can Syracuse's line block to give the QB time? Can he get the ball down the field? That's going to be the biggest thing. But on D, they can bring it. So we'll see.
So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I think, is it this week?
I think it is.
Is Clemson Syracuse?
I think it is.
I think so too.
We'll look at it when we.
Thank you to ESPN. They have number 5 Clemson versus number 14 Clemson. I'm not making this shit up. What's that say?
Yeah. 12 p.m.
12
ABC.
Clemson versus Clemson. Yeah.
So the whites versus the orange, or orange versus purple, whichever they do.
But the other thing to talk about is it's in Syracuse.
Yeah.
So, and Clemson has always not done very well in Syracuse in the Carrier Dome.
It seems like the two places that sometimes they can be like somebody will sneak up on them is in the Carrier Dome or at Wake. At Wake they almost got beat this year.
Correct.
So yeah, we'll see.
Then we've got. Let's go back. Then we've got number 2. Kentucky upsets Mississippi State.
Yeah, well, that just shows you.
Kentucky looked like crap last week.
Well, Will Levis didn't play.
Right.
And quarterback matters.
Well, Will Levis is
a first-round pick.
Well, not only is he a first-round pick, I think he's got the build, he's got the arm strength, and he's got the legs to be.
He'll go in the top 10, definitely.
To be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah. So, yeah, Kentucky lost to South Carolina because he didn't play, and I think not that Devin Leary for State is on the same level as Will Levis, but that just shows you how much QB matters. Look at the Dolphins. Tua goes down and then they lose.
But we can talk about the Patriots.
Yeah, but they have the Zappy.
That's what I'm talking about. Mac Jones goes down.
Yeah, but Mac Jones
goes down.
Mac Jones is average.
But his backup has won both games and looked impressive. Has a higher, over 100 QBR. So,
he might be better than Mac Jones.
Well, that's, Bill, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Because Bill Belichick had some interesting comments when asked about the quarterback situation in New England. And then Oklahoma
bounce back,
annihilates Kansas. The score looks close, but it was not close at all. And for the first time in my recent memory, and you can let me know if I'm wrong, Oklahoma out of the top 25. Unless this is wrong.
No, they were not ranked when that game was played. Yeah. They were probably 30, or something like that. But yeah.
Poor Brent Venables should have just stuck with Clemson.
Every coach wants that challenge to see, and he's been there before. I just think when that many players leave, a lot to win to USC and some other places.
Yeah, once what was Williams, the quarterback.
Yeah.
Once the quarterback announced his transfer, it was the floodgates open.
Yeah.
For Venables.
Because then he had to get a transfer to go there.
Yeah, he had to get
Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
So when you're changing certain systems and philosophy and player turnover, It's Oklahoma, and he's still a good coach. I think he'll figure it out. Whether or not they'll be top 5 again and in the playoff mix next year after, that I don't know. But it's not. I don't see them like turning into trash or anything.
No, never. Especially with them leaving.
Yeah.
Them in Texas leaving.
Well, now I think that
only helps.
them and Texas they'll still lose 3 or 4 games every year in the SEC, but
I think it may be in the beginning, but I think once players start to see,
how much money there is in Austin,
how much money there is in Austin, and how much money is going to be brought in Oklahoma as well.
It doesn't compare.
Well,
but
we all know
that
Texas
oil money, man.
We all know that Texas is the number one spot to be. They rake in the most money, booster-wise and program-wise, out of any other organization or college sports program in the country. And that's been for years.
A hot minute, yeah.
I mean, back when Colt McCoy was playing college.
Vince
football.
Young, yeah.
Then you got number 22, Texas. Finishes off the Iowa State Cyclones 24-21. Illinois. Did not realize Illinois was in the top 25.
Yeah, Brett Bielema.
Fighting Illini. What a name. Beats Minnesota, the Golden Gophers. Minnesota.
That boat didn't roll.
That boat did not. 26-14. And then James Madison.
Couldn't hang it on.
Hold it. James Madison comes in to the top 25
and loses the
for the first time ever.
Yeah, well, they've only been a D1 school for like
10 years.
No, not even that.
Well, they're D1 in other sports.
Well, in basketball, yes,
and lacrosse.
But I think this wasn't like the first year they've been FBS.
Maybe.
So, I mean, that in and of itself is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
but
it is. But they got beat by Georgia Southern, 45-38. I don't know. Seems kind of weird. All right. So here's the new. I'm just going to go through the top 10.
Okay.
So the new rankings after all the shuffling and losing and winning.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia. They got 31 first place votes.
Yep.
Ohio State number 2 with 17.
Makes sense.
Tennessee's hot on their heels though. They're ranked 3 and got 15 first place votes. Michigan is 4. Clemson slips to 5.
They were already 5.
Nope, they were 4.
Which poll are you looking at?
AP.
Okay.
Michigan hopped them.
I thought Michigan was ahead already.
Nope. Okay. Then Alabama slips 3 spots to number 6. Ole Miss jumps 2 spots from 9 to 7. TCU jumps 5 spots.
Yeah.
From 13 to 8. UCLA jumps 2 from 11 to 9. Oregon jumps 2. Fucking Oregon. I still don't understand how these guys keep making it in.
They've only lost once.
I don't get it.
What was the number 22 spot?
Number 22. Of course. I should have known. Why they even the non-ranked North Carolina Tar Heels are 6-1.
22.
Number 22. Right behind Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And right above NC State.
Well, we're always above NC State.
So come on. Here we go. Let's see if we got any comments or anything yet. All right, let's. We got some NFL to talk about. So let's go through. We are in weeks. I keep forgetting we're in that college and NFL are week off from each other.
Yes.
So it is week 6 still until after tonight's game. You've got the Redskins they played on Thursday, which
that was a terrible game.
It got awful.
It was unwatchable.
I don't get it. As unwatchable as that game was.
Oh yeah.
But again, a ton of upsets. Or
Yeah.
I shouldn't. I don't know if I should call them up
because it's the NFL. It's not real. Yeah, I mean,
let's talk about this. Or is this just a fluke with some of these teams, like the Jets, the Giants? I mean, those are the two that stand out, really. No one predicted that the Giants would be 5-1 and the Jets would be 4-2.
I think what a lot of it has to do with is,
especially with the divisions that they play.
The teams that those two teams have played have glaring deficiencies in the areas that they're good at.
But you walk into Pittsburgh and you beat. So for the Jets, let's talk about this.
Yeah,
talk about the Jets. You walk into Pittsburgh and you beat Pittsburgh. You walk into Green Bay.
Pittsburgh's defense is really bad. Their offensive line's really bad, and they can't run the ball. Yeah, but the Bucks keep losing too. I mean, Brady isn't even invested at all in what's going on. He's done.
Checked out.
That offensive line's trash.
He's checked out.
The defense is on the field the whole time. They can't. Like, the receivers have been hurt. They're a mess.
Right.
I mean, if you go through and look at like who the Giants have played, they've beaten mostly bad teams. I mean, Green Bay's defense, who everybody thought before the season was going to be really good, is soft. Like, we could probably throw 150 yards against this defense. And then the fact that he has nobody to throw to, and then you have two good running backs who you should have on the field all the time together, and they don't.
Just like Dallas.
They don't always do that.
Just like Dallas with Pollard. And
yeah, exactly. I mean, when you're deficient at receiver, but you have two really good running backs, play the two really good running backs at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they need to. I mean, so and the Giants and the Jets both beat Green Bay back to back.
Yeah.
So that team being weak. I think that has a lot to do with it, but I also feel like the talent has gotten better. The draft for the Giants this past year with Joe Shane that came over from Buffalo, they did a much better job. The Jets have
Brian Dabble has
and the coach is
good. He's trying to do a hell of a job with Daniel Jones. He's working with a mediocre quarterback
who's still athletic and can move with the legs and stuff like that.
For now.
And yeah, well. And then, with the Jets, hard-nosed coach. They drafted well this offseason too. And I think
Williams,
that infusion of talent,
like a Pro Bowler on their defensive tackle. He had 2 sacks, hurried Aaron Rodgers 5 times, forced the fumble,
and then Thibodeau for the Giants looked great. Dexter Lawrence looks like a Pro Bowler. So
Dexter Lawrence,
another
Clemson.
Yeah, he's playing really well. So
Dexter Lawrence reminds me a lot of Chris Canty.
Well, Canty was a little taller and more on the edge. Dex is a stopper in the middle, but
run stopper.
But and that their offensive line's good and Saquon's healthy, so
yeah.
Good luck stopping that.
I would agree. And speaking of which, the Giants beat the Ravens though. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
J.K. Dobbins.
They don't run the ball. They don't give it to Dobbins.
I know.
Kenyon Drake ran it a little bit.
I mean, trust me, I know.
But
I've got J.K. Dobbins, and when I saw at halftime that he only had 15 yards, I was like,
their offensive line's not very good. Their pass defense is absolutely terrible. And the only person that was open was Andrews, which he caught a million passes over
caught 12, 15 balls,
exactly,
100 and some odd yards and the touchdown.
But when that's the only thing that you've got going and the defense knows it, there you go. And they got after him when they needed to because, like I said, the O-line's not that good. I mean, the Ravens, I thought before the year they were a bit overrated. They're, 2-3 already? So,
3-3.
3-3. Okay.
Yeah. They haven't had their bye yet.
Right.
And then the Colts, Matty Ice.
Throws for 400 yards almost. Yeah.
But, the sealer of the game was to a 3rd-round draft pick wide receiver, Pierce.
Alec Pierce.
Yeah, Alec Pierce. I mean, the emotion and hugs between Frank Wright and Matt. Now remember, Matt Ryan has played under a defensive coach throughout his career as a quarterback. He finally has a former quarterback who is a offensive minded, and they literally Matty Ice threw the ball, 2 catches. Matty Ice just runs straight to Frank Wright and gives him a huge hug. And I was like, what? So,
although Matty Ice's MVP year, he did have Kyle Shanahan as his offensive coordinator. So that
correct.
helped.
But I'm saying head coach.
Head coach, yes.
Head coach wise, he's always had Dan Quinn,
Raheem Morris, right?
Yeah. So so different type of relationship when you have a head coach who's offensive minded compared to sitting for 15 years, whatever he was in Atlanta.
Right.
Let's see. Again, Patriots just absolutely dominate.
Yes.
The Browns. I mean, the Browns.
They're frauds.
Well, I think the Browns are just dying and praying for Deshaun to get back. He's in film, so he's been with the team. He's allowed back in team facilities. They're getting him up to date on the playbook because he hasn't really had any time to really do that and watch film and stuff like that. And I believe we are in week 6. Week 9, he is allowed to start practicing officially with the team.
And then what? Week 12,
11.
He can play.
Well, technically 11, but they have a bye.
Okay.
And they play the Texans week 12.
Right.
So again, the NFL decides, hey, we're going to spend you 11 games, and oh, by the way, the game you come back is against your old team. So that's not a.
Tell me this though. When you think tell me what these two organizations have in common: the Browns and the Redskins. And when you think about them,
what do they have in common?
They're rarely any good within the last 30 years.
I wouldn't say 30.
Well, I mean, the Redskins they won the Super Bowl in 1990, January of 92.
Right.
So it was the 91-92 season. And then since then, I think they've made the playoffs a handful of times, and they've been garbage. The Browns haven't been really, really good since Bernie Kosar was there. Consistently. They made the playoffs one time, a couple of years ago, whatever.
Right.
But I always think to me, it starts at the top. And the Haslams have proven to be not the most ethical type people. And then you've got Snyder, who everybody knows is a douche. So to me, that has a lot to do with the fact that they're always losing.
Well, I would agree with that. And just like I would agree with, Woody Johnson doesn't spend enough money for the Jets. I mean, he's got billions of dollars and he's cheapo when it comes to signing free agents and giving out big contracts. I mean, your name on a hospital and, owning Johnson and Johnson. I mean, how many billions of dollars are you raking in every year? Big pharma and all the products you got. So don't get me started on that one either. I mean, I'm just happy Steve Cohen's the owner of the Mets because he's going to send.
Well, I mean,
at least spending an ass load again.
At least the Jets made the playoffs back-to-back years in the mid 2009, 8. Sanchez. When was butt fumble and all that?
Butt fumble. That was later than that.
They were consistently.
That was 12.
They were consistently pretty good right around that time.
About 10 years ago.
But I mean,
I was at that damn game.
But I mean, the two teams I were talking about, they have one good season every 10 years, if that. So,
all right. Let's see. Bengals finally. Joe Burrows. I mean,
he wore the Jamar Chase jersey before the game, and then they just.
I saw it. He said he texted Jamar, "Hey, you have a jersey?" And Jamar goes, "Well, I could take one off my wall."
Off the wall.
And so Joe was like, "Bring it." And so he walked in with that on. I thought that was pretty funny. Get notifications here. Oh, it's about our lovely weather.
Oh, it's gonna be
dropping.
cold. Yeah.
It's gonna be like 40 degrees tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Crazy, going from 82 to 40. Anyway, we're not here to talk about the weather. This is Chief Meteorologist Lee Mason.
We have a front coming in.
We have a cold
here,
front.
moving in.
All right, so finally Joe Burrows looks like Joe Burrows of old. Rushes for a TD, throws 3. And him and Jamar Chase finally look like they're kind of. I mean, maybe it was being back in the bayou,
Right. Then that's something that people kind of talked about before the game started. Is being in there, are they going to want to like show out and show enough?
Yeah, seriously.
So
Who dat? And then Steelers.
old Mitch pulled it out.
I can't believe it. I'm still on Kenny Pickett.
I told you he'd get hurt. Concussion.
He's a little thing.
He is. I mean, he's tall, but he's slight.
He's like Peyton Manning.
No, Peyton Manning was solid.
No, Peyton Manning was skinny.
No.
Yeah, or Eli.
Nah.
One of the brothers.
They were both like
toothpick.
6. They were both like 6'5", like 230 something. Kenny Pickett's like 210.
Dude, I'm 6'2" and 250. I mean,
Yeah, but you're not athletic like they are.
Shut up. No one is. So Steelers beat the Bucks 20-18. Then the fucking, excuse my language, then the Falcons.
Right?
The Falcons beat the 49ers by 2
Although
touchdowns.
the 49ers have like 8 starters on defense hurt.
Okay,
So-
but you still got Jeff Wilson, Garoppolo. You've got your
Brandon Ayuk and
yeah, fuck you and Brandon Ayuk.
Ayuk.
I mean,
Fantasy points, baby.
George Kittle's still out there, and like you've got all these weapons.
A defense just couldn't do it.
Yeah. So,
But if they can at least keep like a 500 record late enough where these guys come back and they get in the playoffs, that defense is going to be tough.
yeah.
So
I would agree. Excuse me. And then again, the Jets just annihilate the Packers.
like
Like that wasn't even.
it wasn't even close. When did you ever think you'd say that anytime soon?
No.
The Jets annihilated the Packers with Aaron Rodgers.
No, because it was always the other way around. 2006 was the last time.
And then Sauce wanted a little cheese after the game too.
That boy's gonna be a wild one.
Yeah. Well, he already is.
Yeah.
But
I mean, when
he backs it up though
he does
on the
but
field.
When he walked onto that draft stage with that diamond necklace that
That
said
was a sauce bottle?
I was like, oh Lord have mercy, this guy's gonna be. We got the next wannabe Dion.
If he keeps playing like this, yeah.
I mean, if he could put his money where his mouth is, have at it. Then Vikings take care of the Dolphins, 24-16. Tua apparently will be back next week.
Okay.
Which even saying that scares the shit out of me. I honestly think he should sit out the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean it's when you're dealing with head trauma like that, it's not a joke. And getting those back to back, they always say that second one is really intense.
Right.
So
I don't know who these NFL doctors are or team doctors, but I don't know.
I mean,
You're still going to get paid.
What I would say is if he gets hurt again,
it's
You
game
got
over.
to you got to sit out you
No, but seriously, if he gets hurt again, it could be game over for
Well,
the rest of his career.
maybe, but yeah, if he gets another one this year, you
That
got to
quick.
shut it down. You got to shut it down.
And I don't know if you saw that. So they asked Joe Burrow about his concussions and what his career's been like. And he turned around and he goes, I laughed, but at the same time I was like, Jesus, is this like the life of a college NFL QB? He's like, well, like I really never had any of the wobble issues or anything. There are some games I don't remember, and I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, he goes, I remember him up to a certain point, but then I went back in and played, but I don't remember much.
Oh wow.
So like,
yeah,
that's seems.
and just imagine how bad it was when the helmets weren't as like tech advanced as they are now.
Advanced. They were like, I mean, it was
like, a plastic shell.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was just leather. But
there was no insulation.
No.
There was
it was like padded with plastic.
Yeah, and you just had a strap
and the one bar.
Yeah.
Or whatever, maybe. Yeah. Wow. I mean,
I think the leather was more protection.
Probably.
Because that leather was, you can see it. It was pretty thick.
Yeah.
And it covered
certainly more comfortable.
Well, and it covered basically kind of like what an inside of today's helmet looks like. But yeah, when the NFL first started, those helmets. I mean, we could talk about this forever, but that's why you see a lot of these former players killing themselves. Don't remember a lot of things.
Yep.
Some of them can't walk anymore. They can't speak or put a coherent sentence together.
Yeah.
But that's we could sit here and talk about that for hours on end. Obviously, that movie that Will Smith started, I think it was called Concussion.
Yep.
Which brought all this stuff to light. The NFL, very unhappy, sued to try to keep it buried. And I get it. Look, NFL football, it's an exciting game. It brings a lot of money in. They're probably the wealthiest sports league outside of soccer.
Outside of what, like Premier League or something like that?
Yeah, or Champions League. Yeah, because only those soccer teams are valued more than NFL teams.
Well, I think out of every team,
but collectively.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I think like the Yankees and the Cowboys are the tops in the world or whatever.
I'm saying collectively, the NFL as a whole per team.
Okay.
And then soccer champions or Premier League as a whole per team.
Gotcha.
If you look at those valuations, those are basically the top two. Yes, the Yankees obviously are king of the world when it comes to, but I'm talking collective, not just individual. Bills get revenge.
Yeah.
24-20. Josh Allen just
did Josh Allen
when
he needed to at the end, and then the defense stepped up. They got a pick in the end zone, and then they got that other pick on that last drive to seal it. So,
may see. I mean, the way things are looking,
I think
we may see a third time.
I think most people expect them to meet in the playoffs. I mean, they clearly look like the two best teams in the AFC.
Yes, I would agree. Unless the Chargers and Bengals somehow.
The Chargers have so much talent. They've had some injuries. We'll see if they can put it. We'll see if they can put it together. But right now, it's Bills Chiefs.
Yeah. Then you have the Seahawks, led by Geno Smith.
It blows my mind.
They take out
the Cardinals are terrible.
Well, and Hollywood Brown done for the year.
Yep.
Robbie Anderson throws a temper tantrum
and gets traded.
DeAndre Hopkins is back. His suspension is now over.
Yep.
So he can play this week. So we'll see if that helps. Listen, at this point, that contract that Arizona signed Kyler Murray to is just looking like egg on their face.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He looks like trash.
He
hasn't really. He's had one or two glimpses.
He flashes. Yes, he flashed. So I don't think the coach is very good. I think he's a somewhat decent college coach, but probably better just offensive coordinator. Kyler Murray, I mean, he's really small. Like Baker Mayfield gets batted passes down, and Kyler Murray's like 4 inches. Like Baker's 6'1". Kyler Murray's like 5'9", 5'8", 5'9" at best. Shorter. No, Russell Wilson's like 5'11". But
that's what they say.
But no, Kyler is super tiny, very athletic, but it's almost like he has to roll out all the time.
Right.
And they can't run the ball. The offensive line's not very good. The defense isn't good. And
James Conner's been banged up.
I don't think aging wide receivers are going to do anything. I mean, you've got AJ Green and Hopkins. Hopkins hasn't played in quite a while, and I know he was injured some last year too. I don't think any of that's going to help him.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
And I'm just glad
I drafted DeAndre Hopkins, and he's just been sitting there waiting.
And I'm glad the Panthers got a couple of picks, even though they were late round picks. They still got a 6th and a 7th for him.
Sure.
So now you got Terrence Marshall and Laviska Shenault that can step up and play some. So.
That's funny. Then you've got the Eagles. I don't think thought this was going to be an upset.
No, and they did step.
Well, the Cowboys.
They stepped on them early.
The Cowboys had flashes.
I wish they would have. I wish they would have put their their foot on their neck a little bit stronger and didn't really let it get closer.
Sure.
But yeah, I think right now the Eagles are clearly the best NFC team at the moment.
I wish the fans in Philly would have taunted Jerry Jones a little more because he was pretty pissed. I think I saw one video of some of the Cowboys staff surrounding him as they're walking to the tunnel because, of course, he's on the sidelines.
Right, for whatever reason.
For whatever ridiculous reason that you need to be on the sidelines. I understand coming down at the end of the game.
Like in the playoffs or the Super Bowl, sure.
But
yeah.
To sit there and hover for these.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want that.
If
I was the coach, I'd be like, you need to get up there.
Yeah, if I was Mike McCarthy, I'd be like, listen, man.
Like right now, on the road, this isn't the stadium you own. I'm the boss of this sideline. You need to take your ass up in the box. Go put your cowboy hat on and smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen A. will hand it to you if you don't have one.
Every time they lose, I just keep seeing Sean Payton's face in a Cowboys hat.
But here's the thing. He's under contract until 2024. So, I mean, I guess, are the Cowboys going to give up their number 1 pick or whatever it's going to take to get him? That's, to me, that's a big thing. And some people think the Panthers are going to get him. And I'm like, they play in the same division. It's like the Panthers, they need that pick. They have so many needs. And I don't see the Saints trading him in the division like that.
No.
So I don't think that that's necessarily an option either. So we'll see if somebody.
Jerry Jones could write a check.
They're going to want pick compensation too. I mean, all these NFL owners are billionaires. They're not going to. I mean,
or send Dak.
I don't think they would do that.
Or Cooper Rush.
They'll just.
Or
the Saints
send Zeke or Pollard.
Nobody wants Zeke. And so, and the
Imagine
Saints.
Zeke and Alvin Kamara.
Zeke's limited. His days of being a top back are done. But the Saints are going to end up with a pick high enough to get one of the 4 or 5 quarterbacks that are talked about in the draft this year, because this one's a lot deeper than last year.
Right.
So with who's going to be available, even if they finished 500 and they're not like in the top 6 or 7, they can trade up and get. But I think this is the year that you're going to see them, whether it's Stroud, Young, Levis, whoever. They're going to be in the mix for one of those guys.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to see when this Yankees-Indians game starts.
A lot of people have talked about that kid from Florida maybe get drafted high. I don't see that happening. I mean, I know that the physical traits are there, but to me, he's a lot more of a project than you're going to take and use a first-round pick with.
All right, so listen to this. Real quick off football. So the Indians, Guardians, whatever, Yankees game is delayed.
Okay.
You want to know why it's delayed?
Because
mechanical issues of the Yankees flight from yesterday.
Oh, wow.
From Cleveland back to New York. Yeah.
Interesting.
So last night, the Yankees were supposed to get on the Delta plane.
They don't have a...
Nope. Wow. So Delta is their sponsor.
Okay.
So Delta, I don't know if they supply it for free or, whatever. I don't know how that works.
But I mean, there's not like,
there's
Joe Schmo on the plane. Okay.
No.
So it's still like a charter.
It is still a charter jet.
Okay.
Private jet, but Delta doesn't.
Got it.
So mechanical issue last night around 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. They deboard the Yankees.
Deplane.
Families. Well, they had 2 planes. Okay. A deplane, deboard, whatever. They send them all back to the team hotel and had to wait for another plane to come. And so I believe that the Yankees did not roll into town until about 4:30, 5 o'clock this afternoon. The game was supposed to start at 7:15, 7:20. So currently it says delayed, time TBD. And this is the last game. This is game 5. Whoever wins this game.
Tell you what, that's an advantage for Cleveland there, yeah.
But it's still in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, but
so it's going to be interesting to see. And because of the weather forecast, so 2 things that screwed this game up. First pitch was really scheduled for 7:07. All right. They meant
screen went blank over there.
Yeah. There we go. All right. So talk Eagles, Cowboys, talk Seahawks, Cardinals. Sorry, I got on my baseball tangent. So last game we're talking about is tonight. Again.
No Keenan.
No Keenan Allen. 5 weeks in a row with this hamstring injury. This guy has missed more. He's a great wide receiver.
He's really good.
But he has missed more time. I mean, I think twice in his career. Week 1, he's had season-ending injuries. 1 year was an ACL. 1 year was an MCL. Now he's got a hamstring. So, I mean, I don't know. So no Keenan Allen tonight. The Eck, he's still.
Yeah, I mean, you still have Mike Williams. You still have Eckler. So, I haven't seen anything that makes me think the Broncos should win this game. So,
no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all on the Chargers now. I do question the coach and some decisions that he makes at times,
right.
and clearly Keenan Allen does too. But yeah, the Chargers, even though they've had a lot of injuries, there's too much talent, and Herbert is legit. So yeah, bolt up tonight.
I mean, so Eckler has done yeoman's work as a running back, but still, as they showed, the Chargers are last in the NFL in yards per rush, which is crazy to me because Eckler's in like the top 5 for rushing yards this year.
Well,
so far.
And he does a lot out of the backfield too, but their Rashawn Slater's been hurt, the top left tackle. So the fact that he hasn't been in there, and I think they've got one other guy on the line that's out. So dealing with that's really hurt them.
So, yeah, Chargers.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything that tells me that the Broncos have enough offense to keep up.
Sure.
I mean, I know the Broncos defense is pretty good, but I mean, Herbert can throw the ball and he can get it kind of anywhere he needs to. So,
is this Joe Buck's like daughter or wife?
I'm guessing it's his wife.
Those rings are pretty big.
Yeah, it's probably a wife. So I guess she got a job because they hired him. I don't know. I've never heard of her before.
Me either.
I'm like, so she's a sideline person? Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, we have come to the end of 2 Minute in Football. I want to thank our sponsors, Chris Pryor, Service Realty, 864-380-0525. Plumbing in Pink, Rusty and Lynn Greer, 864-735-7014. I want to thank Brad Black here at Coliseum, who continues to sponsor us every week, in and out. We will be doing the show on Monday nights from 6:30 to 7:30 moving forward. There will be no more Tip It Back on Sundays. And then, so instead of doing Thursdays here, we'll do Mondays. It's actually, I kind of think it's kind of better. And it's only once a week now.
Yeah, I like the Monday.
I like the Monday. Well, you can go through the college games. You go through Monday's NFL games. You get the rankings.
And then maybe if somebody doesn't go off on a baseball and concussion tangent, we can pick games for the following week. So,
all right. Thanks. Hey, listen, you know me. I go off on my tangents every now and then. I'm a very vocal person. Look, and my Rangers are winning 1-0 versus the Anaheim Ducks. Now I threw another sport in there.
Okay, fine. How about that basketball AP poll? No heels, baby. Squeeze that in too.
I want to thank you all for watching 2 Minute in Football. I'm Chris Smith. This is Lee Mason. We will see you next Monday. Same time, same bat channel. Have a great night.